moon up high knows the reason why. Sweet Sue, sweet Sue. No one else, it seems, ever share my dreams. Oh, without you, girl, I don't know what I'd do. This heart of mine finds you all the time. Sweet Sue, just you.
Good morning, Unity of Walnut Creek. Oh man, it's good to be here, and you are looking brilliant. Look at all these great souls.
And the sound crew is looking especially nice. They had makeovers, and they're looking really good.
We're going to do our opening congregation. We invite you to join us. Come on, stand up if you care to, and this is called Love, Love, Love. And we'll throw in an extra love. Love, 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 love.
Love, 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 for Pete's sake.
Uh-huh. This is by Chris Foster.
To the mirror, what do you notice? What do you see? God's own expression manifesting wholly and fully. I am pure and perfect. I am wonderful. I am love, love, love in the mind of God. I am free and endless. I am beautiful. I am love, love, love in the mind of God. Yeah. Look into the mirror. What do you notice? What do you see? God's pure potential manifesting wholly and fully. I am pure and perfect. I am wonderful. I am love, love, love in the mind of God. I am free and endless. I am beautiful. I am love, love, love. I am love, love, love. I am love, love, love in the mind of God. Oh, in the mind of God. Mind of God. In the mind of God.
All right, thank you. Narayan and Janet and Elliot came with them today. Yeah. Happy 70th anniversary, Unity of Walnut Creek. Yeah, it's going to be a fun day. It already is a fun day, isn't it? Celebrating together. And we have dignitaries with us today. Did you know that? Once you become a past minister, you're a dignitary. When you're here, you're just one of us. So I want to introduce those who are with us. Reverend Don Eggleston. He was assistant minister. And I know you're all anxious to visit with our ministers and to hear from them. During the celebration, you're going to hear more from them. Some of them are participating in our service today, and one of those is Reverend Dr. Marge Britt. Marge served from 1987 to 1989 in the interim period right after Carol Ruth Knox, so that was a rough gig, I imagine. and I was mentioning Don Eggleston was assistant minister here for something like 20 years or so. So you probably all know Don, and he's still part of our congregation, of course. Once you're here, you're part of our congregation, so that never goes away. You know that, right? And then, of course, we have Reverend David MacArthur with us today. He's back, and he is providing today our meditation. Marge is going to be doing our reading before the meditation. And then we know Reverend David served here for 14 years, most recently as your senior minister. And alongside him was Associate Minister Reverend Sheila Goutreau, who's back with us today. Sheila started out as music director and choir director and moved into associate minister. And she is going to be... and did the floor right, like we do, right? And so Sheila is going to facilitate this morning for us, as I know you are accustomed to having her do so. And so we invited her back for that. Come on up, Sheila, and take over. Here you go.
Thank you so much for having me come and join you in this auspicious celebration of your 70th year. That is absolutely amazing, and may you continue for many, many centuries more. And I'm just delighted. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much. And so I invite you, if you will, to turn to the cameras and join me in welcoming our online viewers, those who are at home because the football games are starting. Friendly wave, and we're so delighted that you've chosen to join us today, this very special day, and your presence adds richly to our service, so we thank you. If you are ever in the neighborhood, however, please stop in and let us welcome you and get to know you in person. And just know there are a lot of great huggers here. Thank you. And at this time, I would like to invite you to turn off or mute anything that rings, dings, beeps, or buzzes, so that today the only incoming message will be from God. Yeah. And in this moment, we are unity. We are unity. And what is unity? Unity worldwide is a positive path for spiritual living, moving beautifully through the universe, bringing these dynamic principles to everyone, everywhere. And add to that the personal mission of Unity of Walnut Creek. And that is that we, in a loving community, empower spiritual principles through
modeling and teaching.
Through modeling and teaching universal principles. Thank you.
Got it.
Okay, it's been a while since I said that. Lighten up. And we help each other. Yes. Through modeling and teaching universal principles. And in this, we affirm the truth of unity, adding the power of our affirmation of faith that I want you to say with me 3 times for the levels of mind, body, and spirit. And together, there is only one presence
and one power in the universe and in my life,
the all-loving goodness of God. And we take that into the mind and allow it to empower our ideas, our thoughts. And again, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And so now we take it in at the level of body. We allow it to permeate every bone, every tissue, every drop of blood, igniting the fire of our physical being. And once more, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And we now let it resonate in spirit, breathing it down deeply into the heart space, where it fills us with the power of that truth. Let us take a deep breath and sigh it out. Yes. So at this time, I would like to invite our ushers to come forth as we prepare to welcome our newcomers. And if you are new to Unity, and if you are comfortable in doing so, we invite you to raise your hand so that we may know who you are and our ushers may bring to you a welcome packet. In this packet, there is a connection card, and we invite you to complete it and take it to our bookstore, where you will receive a special gift from us. You also may obtain a welcome packet by visiting our welcome table in the courtyard, and you can fill out the connection card, take it to the bookstore, and get your special gift from us. There are also connection cards for general use in the seat backs of every chair. And you may use these connection cards to make a prayer request. And that will be handled by our chaplains, our prayer chaplains, who will pray during the week about your prayer request. You may also make comments, and in addition, if you require specific information from us or about us, someone from our office staff will contact you during regular office hours and respond to your request. And so, we invite you at this time to take some time to connect with the people around you.
Extra connection time today on this special day, so we let you hug on. So I want to tell you about a few of the things that are happening here, which are many and varied. Of course, number one this afternoon, stick around 1 to 3 for our celebration. And starting tomorrow, we have our mini-series of classes in September. So we have 2 classes beginning on Monday. St. Francis of Assisi, Brother of Creation, leading up to our Blessing of the Animals, taught by Lisa Nichols. And the Art and Science of Happiness with Garrett Reig on Mondays as well. Peace and Ease in Turbulent Times, taught by Pam Austin on Tuesdays. And on Thursdays, cue me here. Do we have another? Oh, wait, did I skip one? There was another one on Thursdays. Please check your bulletin for details. Isn't that always our backup? Oh, there we go. I'm sorry, I skipped Spiritual Partnership for Couples and Singles. That's with Kathleen Sims on Mondays. So on Thursday this week, we have our World Day of Prayer service, and this is not your ordinary World Day of Prayer service, so please pay attention to what's going on. We have a live stream at 5 o'clock of the closing ceremonies from Unity Village, so if you want to get a little feel, a touch and taste of Unity Village, that would be great. Bring a picnic dinner and then stay for the service at 7. With the theme Courage to Heal in Unity's 25th annual World Day of Prayer, we're going to be having our healers come from Wednesday night, so you'll receive healing energy. We have crystal bowls. We'll have some Qigong led by our local teacher, Allison Tucker, and infused with interfaith prayers and meditation. So it's going to be a really wonderful healing service. So please do come Thursday evening for that. And then also we have on the patio today lots of things going on. So did you know we have a special edition 70th anniversary t-shirt? Limited supply, of course. So please check that out on the patio. We also have our fall fundraiser set up. So if you'd like to volunteer for that or have a play date you want to offer, our full team is there. Unity's going tropical this year in October, so we're getting really revved up for that. It's October 13th. You can also buy your tickets today to the event. And then you can also get tickets to Posi-Palooza, which is a fabulous concert trio. Daniel Nemad, Faith Rivera, and Suke Riley will be here on Saturday night. And you save $10 by getting your tickets on the patio versus at the door. All right, well, now is a time for our meditation. And so I want to shift gears here a little bit, bring our energy down, and get to that sacred rooted place that we're going to talk about a little bit today. And Reverend Marge Britt is going to begin us off with a reading, followed by meditation with David and music with Narayan and Janet. So enjoy.
Good morning. Good morning. I love the subtitle of Kristin's talk today. Connecting our history with our future. And so let's just take a moment to be aware of all of the people who have ever sat in this sanctuary and know that their souls are with us here now. And take a moment to be aware of all of the people who will sit in this sanctuary in the future and know that their souls are here now. I've changed one word in this poem by Mary Oliver. The word I've changed is the word death to the word invisible. So the invisible souls from the past, the invisible souls from the future. When invisible comes, a few words from this poem that I love so much by Mary Oliver. When the invisible comes, I want to step through the door full of curiosity, wondering, what is it going to be like in that dazzling realm? I look upon everything as a brotherhood and a sisterhood. And I look upon time as no more than an idea. I consider eternity as another possibility. I think of each life as a flower, and each name as comfortable music, tending, as all music does, toward silence. Each soul, a lion of courage, and something precious to the earth. When it's over, I want to say, all my life, I was a bride married to amazement. I was the bridegroom taking the world into my arms. And so it is.
I am listening to the music of the Holy Spirit. Oh, what a song God is singing. I will listen all day long. I will listen all day long.
Oh yeah, hey yeah. Oh yeah, hey yeah.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
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 Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I am lifted.
I am lifted
In the love of the Holy Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit.
Oh, what a joy!
Oh, what a joy!
God is being.
God is being.
Praise the Spirit.
Praise the Spirit.
All day long.
All day long.
Praise the Spirit.
Praise the Spirit.
All day long.
All day long.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
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 Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
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 Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I am moving.
I am moving
to the rhythm of the Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit.
This dance of life keeps me inspired. Keeps me dancing. My faith is strong. Keeps me dancing. My faith is strong.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
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 Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
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 Oh yeah, hey yeah. Hallelujah.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
Oh yeah, hey yeah. Hallelujah. Oh yeah, hey yeah. Oh yeah, hey yeah. Oh yeah, hey yeah. Oh yeah, hey yeah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oh yeah, hey yeah. Oh yeah, hey yeah. Oh yeah, hey yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, hallelujah.
Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. I am listening. And so we listen. Beloved presence, Mother, Father, God, infinite love, to enter this place of living, of listening, of receiving. We enter through that door that is your presence. We enter through the door of love. And so we take this moment. Beloved presence, open us to the experience of this divine love. For we are this love. We are enfolded in this love. We breathe in this love. In this moment, bring to our awareness the experience, the memory of all those beautiful times when your love has been there, so alive in our hearts, that whatever we thought we were seeing or touching or being touched by, we were experiencing your presence. As we breathe in that memory, that feeling of your sacred presence, of this divine love in this moment, we let our hearts fill. We let it radiate through our bodies. And we let it bring its deep serenity to our minds. In that serene stillness, we let go. And together we rest in sacred silence. Be still. And know that I am God, here, now, in silence. Infinite love. Beloved presence. Mother, God. From this place of stillness, flows forth your love. As we each grow in that infinite capacity we have to express and be that presence of love in our world. And as that love, we are the ones who have the gift of sending forth your wholeness as love that touches the people we love. Family, friends, people whose lives touch ours on this sacred journey. This love now flows through our hearts to each of them to touch and bless. This love enfolds this wonderful spiritual community to support and enhance and bless each life with greater light and love and peace. This love flows through our hearts to touch our nation, to heal that which is not whole, to inspire that which is caught in darkness, and to connect that which feels separate. This love flows beyond the boundaries across the world, touching cultures and religions and old people and young, enfolding each one and awakening each to the beautiful light within them. And so we send this love. We radiate it with joy from our hearts. We enfold and heal the earth and to all her people. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. Please join me. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. Feel that beautiful love, that oneness that we share with all of life. Again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. Feel its radiance, its connection, its wisdom, and its grace. And once again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world.
Oh yeah, hey ya. 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 Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oh yeah, hey ya. Oh yeah, hey ya. Oh
It is so here because that presence is here. Now because that presence is now. In you because that presence is you. Amen.
Wow. Dave. Can I have some coffee? Okay. Here's a song that we chose for this day, especially by Keb Mo, All Around the World. Was it going? Oh. Oh. Traveling music.
Here we go. What's all the fuss about? Why can't people just get along? Maybe we ought to talk about all the good we got going on. Everybody knows there's a better way, and we're all hoping and praying that one day there'll be love all around the world.
All around the world.
There'll be peace and understanding
All around the world.
There'll be joy all around the world.
All around the world.
There'll be happy children singing
All around the world.
Can't you just feel it? It's everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's a powerful spirit up in the air.
In the air.
Won't be no reason to sing the blues. And then we're working on radio, but some good news. There'll be love all around the world.
All around the world.
There'll be peace and understanding
All around the world.
There'll be joy all around the world.
All around the world.
There'll be happy children singing
All around the world.
Happy children singing. We know we're gonna bring about a positive change. I can't help thinking about everything being so strange. How do we get away from the misery and pain and still feel the sunshine in the pouring rain? There'll be love all around the world.
All around the world.
There'll be peace and understanding
All around the world.
There'll be joy all around the world.
All around the world.
There'll be happy children singing
All around the world.
love all around the world.
All around the world.
There'll be happy children singing.
All around the world.
There'll be joy all around the world.
All around the world.
There'll be happy children singing
All around the world. All around the world. All around the world. Yeah. All around the world. All around the world. All right. And Ariane and Janet and Elliot, Lisa, and Terry, thank you. That's what it's really all about, isn't it? That's why we're here. That's why we've been here for 70 years, so that there will be peace and love and understanding all around. I'm sort of starting to get the all around the world. A little more work on that. Oh,
It is such an exciting joy today to be just in the complete spirit of celebration of who we are, of why we've come, of what we are as a soul group together here at Unity of Walnut Creek. And I told the first service I was hearing from Spirit to take off my shoes in the first service, so I was like, okay, well, I don't know what that's about, but, and so I had them back on. I was ready to come back up, one of my cuter pairs of shoes, and I heard it again, and this time I got the reason: because you are on sacred ground. Isn't it the truth, though, right? This is sacred ground. Really sacred ground. Do you feel that when you come here? I've had people tell me that they get out of their car, they drive up, they get out of their car, and it's like all is right and well with the world when they step onto this property. Yeah, several of you are nodding. And so it is that sense of knowing that this is a safe place, this is a place of love, this is a place where the divine is palpable, and we are reminded again and again of who we are. That's why we come, isn't it? I mean, we come for the fun, and we come for the connection, and we come for the spiritual growth, but ultimately we come because we want to be reminded of who we are. And who are we, anyway? We are divine human beings. We are at the essence, we are filled and infiltrated with that source that is all the things we've just celebrated, all the things we've just talked about, love and peace and joy. We are those qualities, in essence, in expression in the world. That's why we're here as individuals. That's why we're here as a community. On Friday, I had the great pleasure of officiating the renewal of vows for Carl and Carolyn Jansen. I don't know if they're here today. They're here? There they are. "50 years. That's impressive. As Carl said, big deal. A birthday, no big deal. But 50 years of marriage, that's commitment. And that's what I could say about us. 50 years on this property, but 70 years of commitment, of dedication, of the founding, the lineage that we have here, of the essence that goes all the way back, of course, to the beginning of unity. It's rich. Our ancestry is rich, and we're going to dip in throughout the service and have some of those who have led the church here come in and share with us a blessing of well wishes or a message about Unity of Walnut Creek. And so today's title is about roots and wings, as Marge said, connecting our history and really catapulting us into the future from the strength of that foundation. So it was in that place on Friday where we renewed Carl and Carolyn's vows was at Samuel P. Taylor, the Redwood State Park. And it wasn't long ago that I was there on my own spiritual retreat, and I was up on the trail, the Pioneer Trail, and I just had, one of those experiences. You know those experiences, right? And so it's hard to put into words when you have those experiences. I'll try to give you a little taste of it. But it was just, I was there, the brook was babbling, the sun was beaming through and dappling through the forest, the redwoods were doing what redwoods do, It's just like, ain't nothing moving me, man. I am strong, majestic, tall, and I just skyward and deep into the earth. There's just no pushing this guy over. And so I'm there by one of those redwoods, and I'm getting drawn like closer to the earth and closer to the earth. And it felt like Spirit was like asking me to be buried. It was just like that. Like I couldn't get deep enough. I didn't bury myself, but I couldn't, deep enough into the earth. It was just sort of a vision in a way of being reborn is what I realized. It's about rebirth. And so that rootedness can be that deep, that kind of experience of rebirth. Remember when Nicodemus came to Jesus in the night. He came to Jesus in the night and he said, how do I get in the kingdom? And Jesus said, you must be reborn. And he said, well, how? I can't re-enter my mother's womb. And Jesus is like how he always is. Okay, we're not really talking literally here. We're talking spiritually. Of course, the literalists have continued on a different pathway. But he says you must be reborn of water and spirit. Of water and spirit. And that's really what we're talking about here. Earth and things, water and spirit, humanity and divinity. It's the wholeness of who we are. It's what we've come to be, is that whole being. And so it's all sacred. It's all holy. The body, the earth, the physicality here, the carpet, the walls, it's vibrating with life because it all comes from the source. And so everything is infused with the divinity, including us, all aspects of us. And so don't discard any part, even the ego who gets a bad rap, It's all part of who we are. It's all part of what we need. It's just kind of reprioritizing. It's just a little shifting around to see who's in the full charge and the leadership, and it's always spirit. That's always our aim, that source, that spirit, that divine in us is in the lead, and the rest of us comes together in the wholeness to follow. And so it was in that redwood experience that I was so close to the earth and having this vision of being deep inside the earth and that kind of feeling of rootedness and starting over and rebirth and that energy of rebirth, that I looked up and into those big branches that reach into the blue sky, and on top of those branches a raven that was beginning to spread its wings, And so it is for us too that we are there. There are times when we have to go back to the source and refill and remember who we are and get resourced, if you will. And so we need to know when that is. That's the key, to be attuned to the subtleties and the nuances that says, okay, enough already, enough out there, enough serving, enough giving. Come back, refill, drink from the living waters again. And that's part of that rootedness. So when I ask you, where are your roots? There could be so many different answers, right? Like, on what level are you talking about? Where are my roots? We often think when we say, where are your roots, we think of place, right? Of a place where we are from. Maybe it's a city or a town or a village or a country, or where are your roots in that way? And of course, in spiritual terms, we mean that deeper level that I'm talking about, but there is also in the realm of our expression the place, the physical place, and this is the physical place that we're talking about today too, isn't it? And so I want to walk you through a little bit of our history of this physical place and what it once was when along came Unity of Walnut Creek to find its home. We were nomads for the first 20 years. I don't know if you knew that. So we come from great stock of nomadic roots and then rootedness. And so this building looked like that, a cottage on a goat farm. And you can just keep going through, Larry. So there's another shot of the cottage. There's our congregation pouring in or out, I'm not sure which. The internal space that sat 60-some people initially, once some walls were knocked out. And there's the blessing of our spiritual home in the early years. So 50 years ago, about when this space was cleared up. And so it was a goat farm. Interesting, huh? I always like to look at the symbolism and the metaphysics and all of that. And so in Native American medicine, or I don't know if this comes to Native American, indigenous, I'll say more generally, medicine, there are, when an animal crosses your path or an animal comes into your purview, it's a symbol for you. It can be a symbol for you. And so I looked up goats because I was curious in looking at our roots. So what are goats about? And goats are, and I didn't really have to look it up because I'm a Capricorn, so I already know what a goat is. We Capricorns, and you may be out here too, it's like the whole group is up on the mountaintop celebrating the summit, and the Capricorn's going, but what about that summit? And so the goat is the sure-footed one. The goat is the confident one that is able to climb these pinnacles. And goats only need 2 inches of earth in order to climb to the next level. And so that's kind of a symbol that I think is worth looking at. You know, that sure-footedness, that confidence that has created all of this, a thriving community that continues to thrive and bring in new energy and young people and new families and people who have been gone a long time come back and breathe in a breath of fresh air. And so there's that constant sense of circulation as we expand. Also, the goat is a good energy for if you're up on a ledge and you're stuck, the goat can help you out. So if we ever get, and I can't imagine we ever would, but if we ever felt like we were a little bit stuck on a ledge, we can call forth that energy that is part of the foundation of this sacred land. And so then our early years were also marked by several founding mothers and fathers. Our first, Marie Giles, who was our founder in 1948, and she served until 1970. And so we don't know a lot about Marie. Most of the folks here, was anybody here during Marie Giles' time? By chance? No. So we haven't found many. And we don't have a lot of written history about her time, but we do know some basics about some things that were created at that time and then landed here. What we do know a lot about is the next minister, Carol Ruth Knox, who served here for many, many years, about 17, starting in 1970. And she really helped build and flourish this church. So there's the roots and the wings, you know. Marie provided the roots, and then once this church got established, Carol came in and provided the wings. And so, and I'm not saying like the minister did it all, because Carol even specifically shares some of her vision. But before we go there, I want to share with you a couple of the people along the way that have wished us well. And so Max Lafser is one of our ministers, very beloved minister. He's not feeling well right now, so we send him prayers of health and wholeness, and he planned on being here in person, and then that didn't work out, and then maybe a video, and then maybe a letter, and none of it worked out. So we're just presencing him here. Linda's going to share a bit about Max's years during our presentation this afternoon, and I think we have a talk of his that's playing out on the patio, so you'll get a chance to dip in a little bit more and get filled with some Max energy if you're missing Max. But during Max's time, all the peace tiles, the peace wall was created, and so we give thanks for his artistry that he brought, his real sense of love, and David tells me he also loved to party. So so the love of partying and socializing is all a part of our great ancestry here. And then here's a nice warm message from Jean Lynch, who was one of the associates under or with Max.
Hi, my name is Gene Lynch, and I served as an associate minister at Unity of Walnut Creek from the years 2000 to 2002, almost 3 years. I worked with Reverend Max Lafser, and it was my first position as a Unity minister, and a great one. I couldn't have landed in a better place because I was not only supported by Max, but embraced by the community, and we had fun together, and it was a really wonderful experience. And after Max left, I had the honor to serve as the interim minister and to welcome in Reverend David MacArthur, and he became a mentor to me as well. So happy birthday, Unity of Walnut Creek, and you are always in my heart.
And now let's hear from Suzanne Leonard, who was also an associate minister with Max.
Hi, friends at Unity in Walnut Creek. I'm so thrilled that you're having a celebration. You deserve one. In the years that I served there as your associate minister, we had such a good time. I was able to help the youth learn about Unity principles, help with volunteers, and certainly my time to serve with Max Lafser and Jean Lynch were delightful. We called ourselves Lafser, Leonard, and Lynch. Ministers, or maybe an attorney firm, we weren't quite sure. But I know that you're continuing to have good times there. And I congratulate you on continuing to be a beacon of light in Northern California, sharing the unity message. Hugs, kisses, and blessings always. This is your Reverend Suzanne, signing out.
I love that Suzanne touches on, I mean, she makes a joke about the attorney firm, but partnership, really. You know, she speaks to the idea of partnership. And it's not just, of course, among the ministers, but the leaders who are who? Who are the leaders here? That's right. You got it. Somebody was listening in the first service. So one of the things that Carol Ruth Knox said on her very first Sunday, which was September 11th, actually, 1970, there were 66 attendees, and her very first sentence was, "I am so scared." She was right out of ministerial school. And I love that because it's, you know, it brings us back to that vulnerability, right? Our willingness to be vulnerable, our willingness to be open-hearted, our willingness to be authentic with one another, one of our core values, to be real, to be real. To be real. Because when we are real, all the layers are peeled away, right? And we're just there, able to connect with each other in that very open kind of space, in that the essence of who we are, and that essence of our own souls and our own hearts then opens further to that essence that we all share, that one same essence, the divine, the source, the spirit. And so in that message, Carol Ruth Knox, it was called The Wheel Within the Wheel. And she talked about leadership and the importance that she not be the all-knowing mother speaking to the congregation in this sort of, you know, difference of power, but that it be a place of shared leadership. It was the only way that it would really grow and blossom is if there was a sense of shared leadership, if there was a sense of vitality within the congregation, an inner knowing of who we are that would then allow us to catapult into all that we are today. So I'm very grateful for that initial message and vision that Carol Ruth Knox held, because it really is what grew us. And so I'm always surprised at the number over the years of working in ministry when I'll have people at the table who are in leadership roles, and they'll say things like, well, I don't really consider myself a leader. Has anybody ever had that confusion? Because I want to clear it up now, because every one of you is a leader. What is a leader? If not somebody who is on their spiritual path in a very earnest way, who is dedicated to their spiritual path. You wouldn't be sitting in these seats today if you weren't committed to the evolution of your soul and this community. And so by nature of that very presence that we have today, you are a leader. So I want to invite you to turn to your neighbor and say, you are a leader here. It's always a risk I take at 11:30. Yeah. But to know that, to really feel that, to take that into your heart, to know that as you walk the planet, as you move about this community, when you go to work or you do your volunteer work or you care for your children or your parents or you're with grandparents, whatever it is that you are up to in the world, that you're carrying that spiritual authority with you. You don't need to be officially ordained to recognize your own spiritual authority. You were ordained from the moment you came into this world and have been rebirthed and reordained every so often. I mean, for all of us, different timings, but over and over again. As Paul said, I die daily. And maybe it's momently. Now, I don't know. Things have speeded up, haven't they? And so moment by moment, really, we awaken, our consciousness becomes clearer. And there are times when things get cloudy. And what do we do at those times? We go back to our roots. We go back to our foundational principles. We get reminded again of what is unity? What do we believe? Oh, that's right. God is the source, the all-loving good, the presence that is everywhere. And I am divine. I am made of that. And so I am that in the world. And how do I make it so? Well, I think it and I feel it. I co-create it and I pray it into being. And then I live it. Those are our 5 principles. And so it's that simple to go back to those sort of foundational times or foundational committed practices. And all it takes is a pause, you know? All it takes is a moment of breath to get back into that well of prayer and reminder of who we are and what we're about. And so in those times where things get cloudy or confusing, that's what we do. And in the life of this church, there have been times, right? There have been great times of expansion. And as Carol Ruth Knox talked about, there were also times when things needed to go more inward. She talks about it in terms that are familiar to you, that I use a lot, of feminine and masculine, of the sacred masculine and the divine feminine working together as one whole. And so expansive energy, that doing in the world, that serving in the world, the building of numbers and programs that this church went through under Carol, it came to a time where she felt, and the church was feeling a little bit of a draw within. She said that the metaphysical became the mystical. She said the manifesting and the affirming became the inward philosophy and intentionality, that there was a coming back to the roots. And so it is with us in our own individual lives, isn't it? In our own families. There are times when things, things get expanded, and then we go, wow, wait, I'm getting tired. This isn't serving. And so it's time to land back, to come back to source, to come rooted again and be rebirthed once again. So it's exciting to look at where we've been and to touch in over the years at where we have landed once again and re-nourished ourselves and re-stabilized our roots. You know, the root system of trees, we think we're just looking at one tree, and we're usually looking at a huge family, community of trees, because there's this whole thing that happens underneath the earth. There's a book out called The Hidden Life of Trees, but there's also, scientists are now studying the consciousness and the intelligence of these root systems, where plants and trees will communicate to each other that there's danger, there's an insect, and they'll let each other know that there's something that could cause harm. Or if there is something that they can actually together pull together and then release a toxin that will sabotage something that could be harmful, they'll do that together. Or the older trees will withhold from taking water, knowing that there are younger saplings around them that need more of the water and the nutrient base. And there's all this going on under the ground where we walk. Isn't that amazing? It's like us. It's this rooted system. It's this interconnected place. And this is where we come back. How many people come back to unity after they've drifted? Well, they've drifted because life is going pretty well. And then they come on back when, it's time for retirement or a divorce or some difficulty transition that they're going through, right? Because it is a place of healing. Because it is a place of love. That's the sacredness of the ground that we create, of this sanctuary. Do you know that this is your soul group? Anybody ever say when they came to Unity, I've come home? Yeah, and it's quite literal. You've come home. And so you re-enter your home. And this here, even though the faces may change some over the years, it still is that basic soul group. You found your group, your place where the roots are intertwined, where we help each other out, where we support each other as one mighty forest, where we communicate to each other what we need to do, and we give nutrients when we need to, and we take when we need to, right? We refill when we need to refill as well. So Carol Ruth Knox has a video. I'd like to, that's probably going to mess with your order. Can we skip over? Thank you. So she has this video of one of her talks where she's talking about this kind of idea. So let's take a look. And thank you to our AV team. Today we have a new soundboard, and I've thrown like 6 videos and a zillion pictures at them. And
the seed pod has a shell around it. What's it doing? It's filling itself up. When it gains the strength, when it has enough of itself to protrude through, what happens? Nature, through its own support system, provides it with the strength so that what happens? The shell is cracked so that it can push through to create the next growth. That's you. No self can be given when it's weak. No self can serve the universe when it's coming from lack or need. You're a self. That moment when you want to lift up the window and say, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to put up with it anymore, that's a moment of dignity that says, I'm dried up. I need more of me. I need to pay attention to the pearl. And the guarantee built in, contrary to public opinion, the guarantee that's there, that allows you to have the courage to look like a fool in society's eyes, is because you know a law of nature that says, as you fill the inner strengthens. So then it can lose itself and return to give again. What to say?
Nice, huh? We have a great lineage here. Yeah. And so as Carol was talking about that, I was really touched by that clip because it feels very much to me like where we are now. You know, that we've gone through recent healing time, we've gone through a transition time, and this community has been wise about that. The community I left previously did not have an interim minister, and they went through years of dissatisfaction and divisiveness before they landed again. And so just like in our own lives, just like for ourselves and our own relationships, when things get a little messy, we can try to close the door of our hearts. We can try to sweep it under the rug and pretend like it's not there. But you know what? That's going to come back, right? It's like putting the beach ball underneath the water and trying to submerge it. But instead, this community was wise to bring in Reverend Denise Schelling to usher through 6 months of interim ministry. And I feel very much like we've moved through that healing phase, we've moved through that transition phase, we've cleansed the property, the trauma of Carol Ruth Knox having been killed at the end of her ministry. Some of you don't know that. That trauma that lived here is gone, thanks to some help from the High Priestess of Bali. And so we are in that place of we are that seed that's come to be rooted. We're that seed that came to be healed again. And now we're busting through. There's a new birth. There's a new era that is upon us. And it's an exciting time. So let's hear from Reverend Denise Schelling, who was here as our interim minister.
Hello, my beautiful friends at Unity of Walnut Creek. I'm Reverend Denise Schelling. For those that don't know, I am so blessed to be part of this rich spiritual community. I was able to be the transitional minister after Reverend David MacArthur, and then after you hired Reverend Kristin, who you have now. And so I'm just sending you my rich blessings to each and every one of you. So happy to be part of this 70th anniversary celebration and 50 years at that beautiful, holy, and sacred site that you're on there. So I know that you will have a fabulous celebration today because you are party people. I'm grateful to be invited. Wish I could have been there with you. I send my love and care and joy to each and every one of you, and know that you really are fulfilling Unity Worldwide Ministry's vision of a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of a shared spiritual awakening. Thank you for doing your part. happy anniversary, and God bless each and every one of you. I love you.
So as Denise mentioned, that we are really embodying that vision that Unity of Worldwide Ministries has put out of a spiritually awakened world. That we are a part of that greater vision, that greater movement, that the roots go that deep and the wings go that wide, that we are a part of raising up the consciousness on this entire planet, and that often talked about critical mass is us. Right? That tips the scales to that place of awakening, of the seed bursting open, of the growth and the thriving that is meant to be. And so we created this space that is fertile soil for that kind of liftoff, that kind of flight. Reverend Culliver talked about how we are on the cutting edge. And so let's hear a little bit about her time with us on this last video.
I want to thank you for inviting me to celebrate the birthday of Unity Center of Walnut Creek with you. When we think of birthdays, we generally think of the experience of wishing for, providing a wish, or the individual providing a wish for what they want to experience in their future. And so as I think about what I would like to share with you as my wish for your future, I'd like to go back to your history, and it's something that to me was very valuable as a Unity ministry, and that is you always stayed on the cutting edge of spirituality, the cutting edge of mysticism, the cutting edge of science, the cutting edge of music. You always were a place in which people could come to get their answers questioned. What people knew went beyond their history and what people knew. I would like to see, in remembering the all of those people on the cutting edge, like Deepak Chopra, like Wayne Dyer, like Marianne Williamson. I would like to see the people that are at the cutting edge today find their way to the platform of Unity Center of Walnut Creek, and to share that ability to stretch, to share that ability to go beyond what we already know, what we've already answered for ourselves, and to create a new paradigm for what is happening in our country, in our ministries, and in the world. Thank you for being on the planet today.
Prophetic, huh, David? So we've just launched 4 initiatives at this in our community recently, and one of the ones that seems to be leading the way is that this is the go-to place, at least in the East Bay, if not all of the Bay Area, for spirituality, for spiritual teachings, for events, for concerts, that it's on everybody's lips and mind and heart that is on this kind of spiritual journey, that they know Unity of Walnut Creek, they know 1871 Geary, because they have been here so many times, and all their friends are always talking about the next class or event or concert, the things that are happening that are on that cutting edge. So thanks to that message that is so timely for this wings, this time of wings, you know, this time of opening, of flying, of being all that we can be, all that we've come to be. We're ready, aren't we? Are you ready? We're ready to take flight. We're there. We're poised at that place, and we can always remember how to come back and touch down, just like the birds do. Touch down, get a little nourishment, then fly again, you know? And so trusting ourselves, trusting our spirit to follow that lead where it takes us, when it's time to restabilize, to come and reconnect with our family, and when it's time to go out into the world as individuals, as small groups, as an entire community, to make a difference on this planet. I know we're already doing it, but it feels like the energy is ramping up. Do you feel that? Yeah, the time is now. We are on that edge, quite literally on that edge that Culliver is talking about, and it's time to fly. So let's do it. Let's deepen with our roots. Let's acknowledge our roots, and let's spread our wings and baby fly. You guys should all come up.
Are we playing music now? Just we're gonna fly. Okay. Oh, we're not playing music? Oh. That's all I know of that.
Yeah, testing outside the box.
Talking during the bridge. So our prayer chaplains are here to pray with you today. If you'd like a prayer of celebration, a prayer of something joyful in your life, or if you've got something heavy on your heart today, we've got lots of prayer chaplains here. They wear the lavender stoles. Would you please stand, prayer chaplains, so our folks can find you who want prayer? Wonderful. Thank you for holding our space this morning. And this is our time when we celebrate our prosperity, as if we haven't been celebrating our prosperity since 9:30 this morning. But this is the time when we have an opportunity to give, to support this ministry, to give back to all that this ministry has meant to you for the many years that you may have been a part of it, or if you're brand new, to step in, to be welcomed home to this place, and to step in a real way for yourself as you commit to also be a giver in this place. As you give, you will receive tenfold and more. And so let's hold our tithes and our gifts in our hands and bless those together, infusing them with the Spirit from which they come. Together, divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful. So it is.
Okay, here we go. It's about love. First, let me say how good it was to meet you. I want to say how good it is to know you. You're a shining star wherever you are. Lighten up the place, smile on your face. Ooh, you make everyone around you just a little bit happier. Light up a room like you, superstar in God. Well, I learned some things just from being around you. I plan on lifting it up wherever I go and have a funky good time all of the time. Gonna live in the divine. There she goes. Oh, she's lighting up a ceiling. There she goes. A shooting star in the night. There she goes. Some Ooh, dancing in the eyes. There she goes. Living in paradise. There she goes. She's got a heart like a fire. Have a funky good time. Sing it, boys. All of the time. Ooh, living the divine, living the divine. It's all about love with her. There she goes. Ooh, she's gonna light up all the night. There she goes. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah. Love you guys.
We're breaking all the rules. All right, let's bless our gifts, giving thanks for the abundant good that is Unity of Walnut Creek, that continues to thrive and to grow and to spread our wings and to fly. Thank you, God. Let's bless this together. We give thanks for the ever-increasing, unceasing flow of absolute good in our lives now. So it is. Children, come on in.
We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching. We are marching. Whoa, whoa. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching. We are marching. Whoa, whoa. We are marching in the light of God.
Oh, let's bless our youth, our children, and our teachers who are also going to sing for us in a little bit. Together, children, youth, and teachers, we love you, we oppress you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you. I invite you now to take your neighbor's hand as we close out with a prayer of protection and the peace song. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. are the light and the love and the peace on earth right now. So let your light shine and have fun.
Hold on just a second.
So
Hold on just a second.
Part.
There's something that we haven't shared. There's a secret here that hasn't been shared. I'm going to ask all the Unity ministers in the room to come up here. Okay, so we're here for a celebration, but the truth is we came because there is a special congratulations that you all deserve. You manifest what your consciousness is. And come on up here, Sheila. Okay. And we are here, and the wonderful people that you saw there that couldn't get here physically but are sending their love, we're here to congratulate you on the beautiful wisdom and consciousness that has manifested as your spiritual leader, Reverend Kristin. She is amazing, and what you have before you is outstanding. Congratulations from all of us.
Thank you. We're going to invite you all to go to the front of the line for food, okay? Okay, that's it. Let's go eat.
Thank you for what you mean to me. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I just wanna thank you for what you bring to me. I just wanna thank you. Your love has set me free. I just wanna thank you for what you bring to me. Bring to me, baby. I just wanna thank you. Your love has set me free. Set me free, set me free, yeah. Thank